What is up, YouTube? It's your favorite transparent YouTuber, Transparent Hoodie, back on the mic to give you more Street Fighter content. So, pretty much recently, I've been hearing that sadly, the five characters that were supposed to be for the final season of Street Fighter V already got leaked. So for the most part, like these aren't hard confirmations, but like these are just information that I guess data miners or just people that do well with coding and stuff like that and are able to get into the code of Street Fighter. They found bits and pieces of these hard hints at who could potentially be a part of this final season because of those lingering codes that's still a part of the game that could still be accessed and used. But for the most part, I'm not going to pretend to you guys that I understand anything when it comes to coding. Um, so for the most part, take everything I'm about to say with a massive grain of salt. Also, I'm also pretty curious about a particular post that Xkira posted when he posted like a stage on his Twitter. Not saying that everything and anything that this man posts about Street Fighter is quote unquote alluding to a potential like implication that this is coming into the game, right? No, I'm not saying that at all. But it did, sparked my interest that the particular stage that he did post up was a I guess it was a Rose stage. It was a Rose stage back in one of the older Street Fighters, and I thought that was pretty cool if that makes it into the game. And again, I'm not saying that this is like hard confirmation that yes, this is one of the three new stages, but it would be cool to get that stage if we are going to get Rose, which it seems like we might. So just to go over the leaks again, it was because I was watching Ernesto's video when he was covering the news about just what was going on in FGC, and he showed this guy's Sir Arthur's post. I don't know the man. Um, I don't know Hassan at all, but for the most part, Ernesto, he did allude that he does trust him and the information that he brings out when it comes to just Street Fighter, or it could have been just X Kira's information that he himself is just bringing back to light. That remember, guys, this was a thing. But in his post, he pretty much says, Viper, one hand using Hermit, military man, healing, and then a tiny bit of Rose. So that's what he said in his post. So obviously Viper has to be C.Viper. One hand Hermit, which I didn't mention in my other video when I was just talking about the initial announcement of like the final season of Street Fighter V. The one hand Hermit, Oro, would really be like that a great character to segue into Street Fighter 6. Only because like the information and the things that we know of that character, it really just puts the game in this good spot already, mind you, to segue into Street Fighter 6 because you guys have to remember something. Manat and I want to say Oro is probably two of the biggest hinters in Street Fighter 5 when it comes to what's going to happen in Street Fighter 6 because Manat for the most part, remember her storyline of her walking up to random people and just saying like, "Oh, your destiny is within the cards," or "There's something about you that is going to allude to a higher purpose later on." Like I don't remember what she said verbatim, but pretty much it was something along those lines. So Manat probably, and I remember one thing very specifically. She also talked to Oro in her own storyline. So again, that could be the hinter that Oro himself could be in the game and he himself is going to help us segue even better into Street Fighter 6. But it's to be seen. And I would love to see such a strong legacy character like Oro. And when I mean strong, not necessarily gameplay wise, but just his lore wise, right? Like Oro is probably one of the strongest people in the Street Fighter lore, which I always found super sick and super dope. That we have this very towering character that has this like he and you got to understand when it comes to Street Fighter, right? This is not DBZ or this is not like an anime or a comic book series. Like he's not Superman, right? Like when you talk about power and abilities, I guess, and when it comes to the Street Fighter mythos, it just means that he is such a predominant and high level martial artist to the point where it's just like he has to handicap himself. And I always found that dope about Oro. So him being a part of the game is actually pretty clean to me. Um, what else? Military man. Now I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I saw this, I kind of overcomplicated it hard because I think I was thinking too much about the idea about what does quote unquote military man means. Because at the end of the day, like there is a lot of organizations in Street Fighter, right? Like you got Shadowloo, you got the Illuminati, you obviously got the U.S. government, because Guile. So that's the thing. So I kind of was overcomplicating a bit and trying to like bend the bar to see like, even though they're saying military man, what also could be classified as quote unquote a military type person. But I think I went a little bit too ham on that because I was going super left, right, up, down with those theories. And people, for the most part, were just saying like, hey, think about it. Military, pre-established military character. It could be Rolento. But that's the thing too, because you guys can't forget about what happened in the Street Fighter V storyline. Like, remember, I think Abel in Street Fighter V was a part of the military himself. So I don't know. That's as far as I'm going to stretch it. I'm not going to stretch it as far as I did before because I was trying to make these like mental gymnastics of just seeing like, if they're talking military, could potentially be a doll maybe? Because obviously, like, even though they're not a formal quote unquote military force, like you could say that they're a military force for Bison, but I just scrapped all of that. Like I just felt like that's just going way too all over the place. Like let's just keep it simple. So it either could be Rolento because he's already a pre-established military figure, and then obviously because of the story of Street Fighter V, it could be Abel because he was depicted as of like some sort of military, body. Like he did look like he was a part of some form of military or government, you know. Also, let's see. Healing. Now, this is probably one of the most obvious ones when they say healing because the only character that ever comes to mind when it comes to straight up like healing themselves is straight up Elena, right? So I don't know what exactly they're planning on doing with Elena in this game. Um Contrary to popular beliefs, I know the general consensus of Helena is she sucks. She is annoying to deal with. No, you know what? I feel like saying she sucks is too strong. No, she doesn't suck, but she's just annoying to deal with because she just regens health. But because I'm at the level I'm at in Street Fighter, like I'm more curious to see what she can do more than how annoying she could be because she could be a dope character for all we know. Like I really want to see how they end up evolving that particular character, Elena, and seeing how she goes and where she goes as a character because for the most part, lore wise, she never really captivated me. I don't remember her Street Fighter 3 lore at all, but her Street Fighter 4 lore was just terrible, bro. Like saying that you can't have these happy-go-lucky stories, but her story all in all just wasn't interesting to me at all. So Elena, I really do want to see how they push the envelope for her character and get her to be that character that's at least more memorable than just the sole fact that she heals and she's annoying. So all right, let's keep on going. And the tiny bit of Rose, right? Let me know what you guys think pretty much about these leaks or whether or not you think they're 100% hard facts or just something that's plausible to happen with the final season because obviously it's plausible, but we don't know whether or not this is going to be 100% the characters that we're going to be getting, or you think this should be just dismissible because at the end of the day we don't know what their thought process was from the beginning of when these characters were in in their minds versus how they feel like the game should be shaped now. So that's where pretty much I stand on all of this for the most part, guys. You guys take care. And also, I have to mention this, man. I just massively thank everybody that watched and supported my last video, man. Like all of you guys are just animals and beasts, man. I really do appreciate all the comments I got. You guys are really awesome. I do appreciate the feedback and your responses. I tried my best to comment on as much as I could, but I'm definitely going to be commenting on way more comments on this video than anything. I like to thank you guys. You guys take care and have a good one. Peace.